the real monsters. And this first story, look, y'all, we're going to need a puppy kitten break after it because it is just horrifying. So that is your warning. I am going to put on the little sounder. It does involve a child. It is absolutely heartbreaking. And I don't generally give you guys warnings because Lord Chippy kind of implies these are not the best of the best. But this one is incredibly hard. So did want to give that warning out to you guys. But name and shame we shall, and slowly backwards and forward, Lord Chippy shall meet these people again and again.
They're our skin, they steal our grace. These monsters wear a human face. No gavel, no badge, no throne, no crown can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
Y'all, I had this one pulled yesterday, and I almost feel like this one needs just its own. Because honest to goodness, I could barely get through the headline before I was like, all right, we who's gonna be my huckleberry? I need a second, I need a third, and I got a 10-passenger van. We're gonna take care of this allegedly in Minecraft. This is why God did not give me superpowers because it would be on like Donkey Kong. A mom's boyfriend, yes. This genetic weird Elvira from Timu that got melted in the sun, her boyfriend, this genetic dead end that should have, stayed on the Galapagos Islands over here, assaulted a toddler with a wooden paddle that was called, quote, the last resort, end quote, before she sold the still missing child for crystal. Again, why are we waiting? We have Florida, we have swamp puppies. I am done. There are, excuse me, there are new and horrifying allegations emerging about the tragic life of an Oklahoma toddler before she went missing after her mother allegedly sold her to a dealer named Carlos in exchange for crystal. Now, Ashley Rowland, 39, had previously been charged with child abandonment for the 2022 disappearance of her then 2-year-old daughter, London Kerr. And Kathy, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Thank you for being my huckleberry. I'm kind of hoping for them at this point, but I think I cover most of them on Lord Chippy, so I'm not sure that we aren't living in Raccoon City at this point. Now, police searched for London and they allegedly uncovered just a cornucopia of horrific details about her life before she went missing. Now, as a result, both Rowland and her 40-year-old boyfriend, Joshua Denton, are behind bars on additional charges. Now, Rowland stands accused of 2 counts of enabling CA by injury and engaging in a pattern of criminal offenses. Denton faces 6 counts of CA and 1 count of daggone son of a hook, child grossness of a forcible thing, and they can probably prove it because he's Stephen Stern himself. But basically, they usually wouldn't put these specific acts unless they could actually prove it. I'm not going to read the acts out, but let's just say they're terrible. So forcible grossness on a child, lewd and indecent proposals or acts to a child, and engaging in a pattern of criminal offenses, according to records from the jail. Now, in addition, Rowland's daughter, in addition to Rowland's daughter, he's also accused of laying hands on his own, biological children. Now, according to a probable cause arrest affidavit, investigators spoke with Denton's kids who detailed disturbing allegations. His 15-year-old son alleged that Denton beat London with a wooden paddle, shot her with a BB gun, and did other things. Now, authorities said they recovered a BB gun and a paddle that had "Last Resort" written on it in a storage unit that belonged to both Denton and Rowland. The teen alleged that his father also laid hands on him as well as his older brother. Again, just horrific things like duct taping to them to a chair and different things. Now, Denton allegedly threatened to take his son's own life and make him disappear if he told the police about what he had witnessed in the home. Now, Roland, this, Elvira that's been melted, allegedly witnessed all this going on and did nothing to help. Now, Denton's son said the last time that he saw baby London, she was with Denton and Roland in a car. Now, Roland allegedly told the boys to say goodbye to London before they drove off. He never saw her again. Now, Roland claimed that they were taking her to London's biological father's house. The affidavit doesn't include a date when this last sighting was. Now, Denton's younger children told police that their father poured hot sauce in London's eyes more than one time and would lock her in a closet. He also allegedly made her bite down on a hot pepper. Now, his daughter, aged 8, is the one that they have evidence that there was child grossness going on. So his own children, again, chuck them into the sun. We don't even need to waste time. Criminals like this benefit so greatly from our legal system. They just don't even understand that by using logic, by using the Magna Carta, by using, the legal system to take emotion out of this, to take what I would severely like to do to these people allegedly in Minecraft, and to have, check-marked items that a person has to do to label their crime in order to be convicted of it. These people benefit greatly from a system that they constantly abuse. It's maddening. Now, investigators interviewed Roland following her arrest in November, and she claimed that the aforementioned Carlos was London's biological father. Now, she said in mid-April 2022, she met up with Carlos in a parking lot and handed London over to him without any of her identification papers. Now, Roland claimed that Carlos was from Mexico and had no way of contacting him, and according to police. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. You're in the middle of a Mo rant. But authorities questioned her timeline of when London would have been conceived, and Roland admitted she was in Georgia at the time with her then boyfriend, whom cops believe is now the girl's actual biological father. Now, police couldn't locate anyone named Carlos with the birthday that she'd given. Now, Law and Crime previously reported that agents with the Oklahoma Department of Human Services in April 2023 were tasked with taking custody of the toddler. Again, great job. Just a year after she's last been seen, you guys were hot on the trail. Agents located Roland at a residence in Moore, about 10 miles south of Oklahoma City. Authorities said they were later able to determine that Roland was lying about the whereabouts of her daughter and contacted the Moore Police Department. Now, Roland allegedly said that she hadn't seen the child since giving her to Carlos, who was selling her crystal at the time. Roland later said she was lying about Carlos being her pharmaceutical dealer, if you will. Now, Oklahoma DHS reportedly told KOCO that the department can't comment on the specifics of the case, but that the entire situation was heartbreaking and unimaginable. The search for London continues. If she was alive, she would be turning 6 years old next month. Oklahoma City Police Department has taken over the investigation as cops believe she was last seen in their jurisdiction. We don't have very credible information from the people that assumed responsibility or had custody of this child. So when we take over an investigation, we have to go back and look at what's already been documented. So time is of the essence, said Sergeant Dylan Quirk. Now, Roland and Denton remain in the Cleveland County Jail without bond. So this is an ongoing case. This is absolutely just heartbreaking. It is a terrible story and just gross, just absolutely disgusting and gross. And this next story is evil on a different level. It's the banality of evil. These two are obvious monsters, but this next one is just how not paying attention, how being oblivious when you're responsible, when you're, driving a boat can destroy a family. This is sort of the everyday evil of just not giving a shit, which I don't like anymore. A boater who wasn't looking when he slammed into swimmers, killing a 10-year-old with had nearly 40 cans of beer in the vessel and is facing more serious charges per the DA. A North Carolina boater and his girlfriend, who allegedly crashed into a group of swimmers, taking the life of a 10-year-old girl and causing a woman to have her leg amputated, will be indicted for murder. Quentin Gregory Knight, 40, the driver of the boat, and his girlfriend, 56-year-old Anne Marie Flanagan, who owned the vessel, stand accused of second-degree murder in the death of Brooklyn May Carroll. Now, they were already facing charges of death or serious injury by impaired boating. Now, Knight was behind the wheel of the boat on August 2nd when he crashed into 3 swimmers about 100 feet offshore at the Sharon Harris Reservoir in Chatham County. The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commissioner reportedly said. Now, the crash killed Brooklyn and caused the amputation of Jennifer Steele's left leg. Steele is the mother of one of Brooklyn's friends. Now, Flanagan was not driving the boat, nor was she under the influence of alcohol at the time of the crash, but she was aware that Knight was drunk, prosecutors allege. She also wrote a misleading statement that claimed she didn't witness the crash and only came to the scene after she was called. Now, Brooklyn's family released the following statement. We've been informed that 2 people have been charged with a second-degree murder in relation to Brooklyn's tragic death. While we don't comment at this time on the senseless act that took Brooklyn from us, we extend our sincere thanks to law enforcement officials and district attorney who have been working diligently on her case. We also want to again thank the community who continues to support our family in our deepest time of need. We miss Brooklyn more than words can express, and we will continue to find ways to celebrate her incredible life and the light she brought to so many. Meanwhile, Steele's long road to recovery is just at the beginning stages, and she also released a statement. Our hearts are full of gratitude for the overwhelming support our family has received. The visits, the messages, the meals, the prayers have been more than acts of kindness, she and her brother wrote. They've been a lifeline holding us together during the most difficult days of our lives. We feel the strength of those prayers, and we seek God's goodness in the way this community has come together to lift our family up. Now, as was previously reported, District Attorney Jeff Neiman revealed additional information during Knight's first appearance last week. Now, police found some 39 cans of beer aboard the boat, plus a half dozen more cans that authorities believe were also on the vessel at the time of the crash. According to a courtroom report. Now, there was also evidence on people on the boat shotgunning beers. Now, Knight reportedly had at least 10 people, including 2 children, on the boat during the time of the incident. Neiman told the court that Knight wasn't even looking forward as he was driving the boat, instead looking back at the people on the inner tube that he was hauling. Now, authorities took a sample of Knight's blood to determine the blood alcohol content, but those results have not been released to the public yet. Brooklyn's family laid her to rest on Friday. BB was light in every room she entered, with an infectious smile, a loving heart, and a spirit that touched everyone who knew her. Her laughter, her kindness, and her energy brought so much joy to her family and friends. A GoFundMe page has been started for her family for funeral expenses. Now, the defendant's next court date is scheduled for August 20th. Knight currently has a separate hit-and-run case pending in Moore County as well, along with court records that show he had pled guilty to a DUI in New Mexico in 2010. So this is a long-established pattern of behavior. The banality of choosing to drink and play Russian roulette with everybody else's lives. Because have we ever noticed in a cosmic, just in a cosmic, kick in the left tit, it's never the drunk person that tends to get hurt, with these crashes. It's always like the van full of nuns and puppies. So again, Snake Island, this has been a pattern in his life for a long time, and he was perfectly okay with playing Russian roulette with everyone else's safety, and now he has robbed a family, and he deserves to deal with the consequences. End of story. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm a redhead on the internet, though, so, I mean, you can take it or leave it.